Hey guys, so this is my first actual official YouTube video. I've done videos on my Facebook page, which is my video blog, I call it anyway. Uh, I started the child abuse awareness support group for adult survivors of child abuse. April 1st, as you know, well, some of you know that April 1st is Go Blue for child abuse. Awareness month. April is awareness month for child abuse. Um, so I wanted to kind of tell a little bit about my story. It's going to take me several videos to tell the whole story because it's a long one. And I have a doctor's appointment here in about 20 minutes. So I wanted to kind of do this video while I had some time. And I'm coming off third shift, so I apologize for anybody that sees me and I look a mess. But anyway, so my story began when I was about 4 years old, and my parents were still together. They separated and divorced when I was 6, and when I was 4 years old, as much as I could remember anyway, I remembered things where, like, my mother had locked me outside of the house. My dad had come home and found me dehydrated in the yard. Dad took me to the hospital. That was kind of the start of everything. After that, everything kind of snowballed. I don't know if she was going through like a time in that period of time where that's where things were getting bad, or if they had been bad for a long time and I don't remember them because I was so young. But after that, the mental and emotional type stuff started happening. I felt very disconnected from her. Like, for instance, there's an example of one time my mom had been cutting my hair in the living room, and we had like one of those old box fans that were sitting in our window, and it had fallen through the window, and she just like lost it. She demanded that we go in the bedroom and lock the doors, which scared us to death, and meaning me and my sisters, and well, me and my older sister, and my youngest sister wasn't born yet, but and we had been in there for quite a while, or what felt like quite a while, and I remember hearing my dad pull in the driveway, so we came out, and she had a shotgun and was pointed at the front door. So it was kind of traumatizing to us to see something like that. So that's when that kind of started. Everything was very dramatic. It turned out, she claims that it was my uncle at the time, but for all we know, it was the wind. We don't really know. Because nothing was ever proven or anything like that. But Dad got her to put the gun down, and things kind of just settled down for the night or whatever. When I was 6, my parents separated, and my mom went to live on her own. She took us kids. At that time, we would go to my dad's house on the weekends. And when I was 6, that's when a lot of the sexual abuse started. She was dating a guy at the time, and she was working, or said she was working at this bar, and would be gone late at night a lot. And I was in kindergarten. My older sister was in like 3rd grade maybe, and I remember the night that it happened the first time. My little sister was born then. She was just a newborn. She was in a crib in the living room. My older sister was doing her homework at the coffee table. And this guy seemed nice. Like, he bought us things. We did fundraising because we were in T-ball. And he bought like all kinds of fundraising stuff off of us. It seemed like he was a really great person. So we got close to him over the course of a few months, and this night that this had happened, Mom was out working, and sister was doing her homework, younger sister was asleep in the crib, and he had asked me to lay on the couch with him or whatever, and we were watching TV, and he began to molest me, and I don't know if it was for fear of my sister turning around and seeing what was going on, or if it was why he had done this next thing or not. I don't really know why he did it, but he had asked me to go get a blanket out of my bedroom. And I got up off the couch and I went to my bedroom. We lived in a trailer at the time. My bedroom was the first one down the hallway on the left. And I had gone to my bedroom, and we had, I had just like a small little window in my bedroom. And I stood there in my bedroom and I just wondered like how I could get out of there. How can I get out of this situation? And then I got thinking about my sisters, and I thought, well, if he's doing it to me, he's not doing it to them. And I felt kind of protective. But I was still scared. I was still thinking. I was like a caged rat, pretty much. And while I was in there contemplating all this stuff, which seemed like, again, took forever, but really, I feel like it was only just a few minutes, I heard him yell, "Jessica, come in here." And I knew what he was going to do, but I feared what he was going to do if I didn't go back. And so I grabbed my blanket, and I went in there and I laid down, and he continued to molest me for quite some time. When my mom got home, he stopped, and we went to bed. During the time that he molested me after I got the blanket, at one point in time, he had whispered in my ear, "Does it hurt?" And I thought if I said yes, he would stop, but he didn't. And he still continued. That night when we went to bed, I didn't sleep, obviously, and I heard him and my mom in the bedroom having sex, and I just, now that I'm an adult and I think of it, it kind of disgusts me that I feel like he got aroused by what he was doing to me, and he went and finished it off with my mom. And the next morning, my mom would always walk us to the bus, and would walk me and my older sister to the bus. And she got up, we got around for school just like any other morning, had breakfast. She walked us to the bus, and as soon as I got outside, I told her what happened, and she said, "Don't worry, baby, I'll take care of it. You're going to be okay. Everything's going to be okay. You're safe." I took her word for it, and she walked us to the bus stop. I got on the bus and I went to school. Again, just like any other day. I mean, it still bothered me, but I figured Mom was taking care of it. So when I got off the bus, I saw my dad's car sitting, like, not right in our driveway, but up the road a little ways. And I saw a bunch of police cars, and my mom had come out and met us by my dad's car and said that we were going to go stay with my dad for a little while, and that she was taking care of it. I overheard her talking to my dad about the situation, and had said that she confronted the man about this, and that he had gotten physical with her or whatever. I don't know how true that is. I wasn't there, but that's just what I remember overhearing. So we went to stay with Dad for a little while, and about a week or two later, we went back to stay with Mom. And I remember the night that we went to go back to stay with her, she actually packed us in her van at the time that she had, and we drove to this man's mom's house, which is where he was staying. And he was in the garage at his mom's house working on a car, and I was sitting in the front seat. My older sister and my younger sister were in the back seat of this van, and she looked at me and she said, "Jesse, you need to get out and go tell him I still love him." And my heart sank, because I felt like she took his word for it, and she didn't take my word for it. She wasn't protecting me. That's what she was supposed to do as a mom, is protect me and make sure that I was safe. And up until that point, like, I was 6. There's no reason for me to lie about something like that. And honestly, a 6-year-old doesn't have knowledge of these things unless they've experienced these things, or heard about these things, or maybe nowadays watched movies with these things or something like that. But back then, It was just the only way a 6-year-old would know about these things to talk in detail to their mom about what this man did to them would be if they personally experienced it. And I felt like, at the time, I felt like um, she let me down, and I felt like I wasn't safe. And um, that ruined my relationship with my mother. Till this day, I'm almost 30. I have given her second chances many times. But till this day, I do not talk to her. I have children of my own. She does not see. She's never met them. The last time I had talked to her was when I was pregnant with my oldest, who is now 6, almost 7. And it's more of a protective thing for me. It's a defense mechanism, I guess. I don't ever want my children to be exposed to the things that I was exposed to. And I know what I was exposed to, regardless of if she says it's true, I'm a liar. You know, I've heard it all a million times a million times. There's no responsibility taken there. And you know what? It's okay, because I know the truth. She knows the truth. And God knows the truth. And one day, everybody's going to have to take responsibility for their actions, whether they want to or not, and they're going to have consequences, whether they're good consequences or bad consequences. The only thing I can do in the meantime is tell my story, and I know that things like this happen even now, 20 some years later. Maybe if one person sees my story or one person hears my story, they can know that they're not alone, and that these things do happen to other people, you know, and other people have survived. It's not the end of your life because of this. I've had a few friends who have gone through similar situations like me, and I've lost 2 of them to suicide. I myself contemplated suicide at one point, and I had a really good friend who helped me through it and helped talk me out of it. And for me, just having somebody there to listen, or having somebody there to give me another point of view, that was a big deal for me. And she pointed out a lot of things, like, you know, you've been through way worse than this, Jess, and you made it through. You can make it through this too. And it wasn't only one phone call either. I mean, there were several times that I've had issues with this, and she's talked me out of it. So I feel like that's my goal, with this YouTube channel and with the support group and with my video blog, is to try to raise awareness, not necessarily for people who aren't being affected by this, but for people who are being affected by this, so that they can see that these things do happen to ordinary, normal people that you run into every day. I'm not a perfect person. I don't have the most glamorous life. I'm not rich. I'd like to be, but I struggle every day with things, finances, job security, not so much that anymore, but, I've had my struggles as an adult too. And my life definitely is not perfect, but I'm safe. My children are safe, and I'm a better person for what I went through. And I came out on top. And frankly, that frustrates my abusers. For me, it was always my goal. When somebody would tell me that I can't do something, I made it a point to prove them wrong, because I'm stubborn, and that's the type of person I am. And when somebody told me, you can't do this, or you won't ever be anybody, and you know what I did? I went to college twice. I didn't graduate twice, but I went to college twice. And, I've been a nurse, I've been a corrections officer, I've milked cows, I've done all kinds of different things, just trying to find myself, as my adult self, because I've had all kinds of experiences that I would never take back, because I've learned something from every single experience I've been through. And I currently work for a residential treatment facility with troubled youth. So for me, that's like the most rewarding thing in the world, and that's fairly new. But that's the most rewarding thing, because all those workers that I had when I was in placement, like at the time as a kid, I never realized it. And honestly, I thought they were annoying. I thought they were jerks. I thought they just wanted to tell me what to do. But now that I'm an adult, I look back on it and I think, they were just trying to help me. And I am so grateful for them. Like, not just the workers and the placements, but like the caseworkers, the judges, my lawyer, everybody that was on my side. I had so many people on my side. And when I was a kid, I didn't realize it. I just looked at them as authority figures. And for me, because of the experiences I had with authority figures, I didn't trust them. I didn't feel like they had my best interest because before I was in placement and came across positive role models, nobody really did other than my dad. And and he could only do so much by himself. And so it wasn't really just a support system for me. It was a support system for my dad and a support system for my sisters. And, my sisters and I have issues, but I think we've turned out all right. It could be way worse. And for that, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful that that's happened. Again, not perfect, but we're not in jail. We're not on drugs. We're not out beating the crap out of people. We're not out at the bar every night. We're not alcoholics. I think for what we've been through, we are stronger than what society put on us that we would be. And to me, that's a success. So I'm going to end the video here so that I can get into my appointment. And there's going to be probably a million parts to my story. So make sure you subscribe so that you can get updates on when I post new videos. I am going to try to post them at least once a week. Make sure you share on your Facebook, whatever, get the word out. And also April 1st, go blue. Make sure you wear your blue for the day, take a picture, and follow me on Facebook under Jess Says, and hopefully I will see you there. And if you are on my Jess Says page, thank you for tuning in and showing your support, and I love you guys. You guys have been awesome. A lot of you have been supporters of me for a couple of years now, and I really, really appreciate it. And you've seen the ups and you've seen the downs, and hopefully there's going to be more ups soon. So I will let everybody go, and remember to hit that subscribe. Remember, just to talk properly. Remember to hit the subscribe button, and I will see everybody later.